Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if we have a second, Greg, I'm just curious to ask Richard, of all the races that we looked at, the Democrats, Melanie brings up distancing themselves from President Obama. Be honest, it's just us.
Just us.
Just
right?
us.
Yeah, whisper in our ear.
How many of the candidates that you watched tonight that were successful did exactly that?
Distance themselves from President Obama? Well,
Or from the current administration's strategies?
I think that especially in these Senate races, for the most part, maybe with the exception of California, the Democrats who were successful were Democrats who were able to distinguish themselves from the administration of Washington.
Nobody bragged about health care in any of their ads except to brag they voted against it.
Two races I was very surprised about in Mississippi, the 1st District, Travis Childers, who was endorsed by the NRA and the Right to Life organizations and said he would not vote for Nancy Pelosi, lost. Gene Taylor, who said, as a Democrat, he voted for McCain, actually lost. And I was very surprised that those two
Nancy Pelosi was so unpopular that 1 out of 14 Democratic incumbents running for re-election either refused to say they would vote for her or said that they wouldn't vote for her. That is an astonishing retreat from a leader of your own party.
Yes.
Speaker of the House.
The other thing is that there's a sort of a correlation versus causation thing going on, because in a very purple swing district, you can campaign against the Democrats. Will it affect, your success rate? It may not. There may be nothing that was going to help you tonight, is my point. If you're in a district that's going to give some back to the Republicans, it's going to happen anyway.
But if you're a friend of Nancy Pelosi's, you're adding extra baggage.
Well,
that's for sure. But if you're a friend of Nancy Pelosi's, you're probably not really representing a swing district to begin with.
And it was really not anything personal against Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she actually did a pretty effective job as Speaker.
Obama said she was the best speaker ever in history.
We ran a piece on Sunday from a liberal Democratic member of Congress from Washington State calling her an authoritarian.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what you want in a Speaker of the House, right?
What's her future, John?
But the retirement.
She's
a lot of
going
time
home.
with
Gingrich
grandkids.
retired.
Do you think she'll resign?
Gingrich retired
Yes.
almost immediately after losing the speakership in 1998. Nancy Pelosi has no interest in being a backbencher. She has no interest.
Well, she'll never be.
Does she even want to serve?
Exactly. She has no interest
I mean, if
in
she's
that.
not going to be in a leadership position, would she resign her
I
seat?
believe she will.
I think early next year
I do
she
not
will.
think she will. No.
Really?
You think she'll
I mean,
stay?
I think it's too soon.
She's going to be one of 435 members of
I think
the
she's
House?
gone by the end of the week.
Richard, does
Really?
the campaigning for 2012 start tomorrow?
The campaigning for 2012 started today. I mean, it's already started, and the positioning already started. I mean, one thing that we haven't talked about that I think you'll see President Obama doing over the course of the next couple of weeks, and I hope he does, is try to bring some Republicans, some moderate Republicans, into the White House. You'll see some staff changes, I think, very important. We talked a little bit about, John did, about how Democratic donors are unhappy. Well, Democrats are unhappy, throughout. I mean, progressives, moderate Democrats. I mean, President Obama was not really able to articulate a rationale for himself in this midterm election. And going into this next big national election, he's going to have to do that. And if he doesn't very quickly...
He'll have to do it tomorrow, Richard. He's speaking at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He'll have to explain what
And
happened.
then the next day he leaves for 12 days in Asia.
I think
Talk about getting
he'll
out
have
of
a
town.
little longer than just tomorrow.
When President Clinton had challenges,
But he will have to start the
He will have to
dialogue
start it
tomorrow with
tomorrow.
America.
Yes.
What will he say, Richard? How will he explain tonight?
All he has to say tomorrow is, I get it. I get it. We're going to try to do better. We're going to work together. We're going to compromise. We're going to try to work for the American people.
Is he capable of humility? Maureen Dowd of the New York Times wrote,
was
gave
a
him
tough
a
piece.
drubbing on Sunday, basically accusing the president of being arrogant. He's always right. Everybody else is always wrong. Does he have that level of humility that he can come out tomorrow and say, I get it?
You
Richard,
will be
he's played
amazed
the
what
blame
an
game.
election like this tonight will do for your humility.
I don't know.
Interesting.
We'll wait and see.
On that note,
All right. We're going to check in with our correspondent in Alaska because, boy, that Senate race has yet to be decided. And as we do that, here's John Kasich, the governor-elect.